Hi guys, this is a shortened version of the exercise video that I made for massage therapists. If you haven't already checked out the lengthy version, please check out that first as it has all the tips and tricks into it. This video is designed so that you could get started and get going with your day without having to listen to too much talk. Without further ado, let's get started. Starting with the warm-up, bringing the hands wider than shoulder distance apart, bringing the arms up and overhead. If you're looking for any tips and tricks, please see my previous video. We'll do this about 8 times. Nice deep breaths. Good. Moving on to the next one, bringing the arms up and overhead. Arms are nice and wide, pulling to one side. We'll do this about 8 times. Good job. Moving on, bringing the arms up and over and behind. Watching for your torso, making sure you're not arching your back or poking your ribs out. 8 repetitions here as well. Getting those arms nice and warm. Deep breaths. Good. Moving on to the legs, starting in that lunge position. Both toes are going to face the same direction. We'll pivot the right toes out if your left foot is forward, and then we'll start to pivot towards the wall and over to the right side. Right knee is forward, left toes are turned out, and then we'll pop up on that toe, creating that combination movement of doing a little squat down and rotating, bringing the knees out wide. Deep breaths. We're just warming up. We'll do about 8 of these total. Last one. Take your time. If you need to slow this down, slow it down. Good. Last one for the back of the legs. Back stays nice and flat. We're going to kick the heel out in front, lift the toe up, hinge at the hips, send your butt back and lean forward. And we'll switch. Hands can be wherever you want to put them. Just focusing on getting a nice little stretch in the back of the leg. Eight times. Good. Bringing it back through. We're going to grab a mat and get down on the floor. Starting first with the curl up. Choose your version that fits best for your body. Remember, we're trying to keep the low back in the same position, trying not to flatten and trying not to let it arch. And we're just lifting a couple of inches off the ground, not even. 8 times. You're doing great. Good. Moving on, taking our bird dog position, choosing the best one that works for your body. Take a nice couple of deep breaths. We'll do this 8 times. Remember, we're trying to keep the ribs and hips stacked. Use your breath to squeeze the belly in tighter. Good. Last ones. Feel free to take this at your own pace, going faster or slower. Good. Flipping on over, taking our dead bug position. Remember, the idea is to keep the hips level, making sure the back doesn't arch too much or flatten out too much. Choose your own leg position. We'll do this 8 times on each side. Relaxing the neck. Good. Bonus content is going to cover the hips as well. Lifting up into your bridge when you're ready. Finding the pelvic tuck. Hips and ribs stay stacked. Lift and lower 8 times. Good job. We'll come on back up to standing and finish our workout. Starting with W's, up against the wall or in the middle of a room. Hands are shoulder width apart. Press the elbows and bend them to a 45-degree angle. And then we'll pull the band apart from here. Exhaling as you pull out 8 times. The band should come to your chest each time. Keeping the ribs and hips stacked. So we're not arching the back and we're not flaring our ribs. Good, 8 times. And we're going to move on to our deadlift position, stepping on the middle of our band, grabbing down nice and low while you're down here. This is going to end up being your first deadlift, whether you want to or not. Make sure you engage your glutes as you come straight up. Keeping the ribs and hips stacked, soften the knees. Send it back. Good job. 8 times. We're going to come to our lat pull downs, bringing that strap or band up overhead, about shoulder width apart, and we're going to pull it down towards our hip. So hand's going to pull down towards the shoulder, elbow's going to stick out to the side like you're trying to pull it into your side pocket, and we'll just alternate here. 8 times on each side. Good, keeping those wrists nice and straight. Last one. Good job. Repeat these as many times as you'd like. Start off with 2 sets of 8 for each exercise. Let's go into some stretches. Starting off, we're going to stretch the chest at the wall or in the doorway. So arm can be straight or elbow can be bent, turning our chest and torso away from that side. If you're in a doorway, arms can be like this at 90 degrees, or they can be out to the side, leaning into that doorway. We'll hold each side for 30 seconds. Nice deep breaths as you do. Good. Other side. Holding for 30 seconds. Good. Shaking it out. Working on the hands now. Hands are going to come out straight. Reach that arm out, pulling back on each finger. Make sure you've got the thumb in there too the first time. We'll hold this for 15 to 20 seconds, taking nice deep breaths. Good, shaking that out and going to the other hand. Taking each individual finger back if you would like as well. Holding for 15 to 20 seconds. Good, and shaking that out. Last but not least, let's take a pigeon stretch. I'm going to use my table. We'll start with one leg forward, hanging that leg off as much as you need to get into that stretch, or lengthening the leg back behind you. This knee should be at 45 degrees or greater if you don't have any knee problems or pain getting it into this position. We'll hold again for about 20 to 30 seconds. Good, And pressing on off, switching sides. You can take a little modified downward facing dog to stretch out the upper arms underneath the armpits. And we'll create the same movement here on this other side, just bringing the foot and leg up to a position that's comfortable, 45 degrees if that bothers your knee. Good. Pushing back out, taking one last modified downward facing dog stretch, and you are all done. If you found this video helpful, I hope you will like and subscribe for future videos. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I'll also leave a link to my booking page. I do take online clients that I work through to help them to be more pain-free in their lives. So if you live every day with pain and you want a little bit more relief, consider checking out my information below. I do free consultations to make sure that we're both a good fit for each other. Thanks so much.